wondering where the country is headed given the mayhem and turmoil over race, religion, and culture? Scholarly historians can point in the direction. Americans have walked this divided highway before. We were bloody and bowed before putting a foot down and turning around. Understanding history matters. Today, a young creative who's on his way and in the right direction. Welcome to Empowering Voices. I'm Renee James Gilmore. Jahkori Dopwell Hall is checking into Art Ovation Hotel this weekend, and he hopes you'll check him out while he's there. Jahkori is a recent Ringling College graduate from Ringling College of Art and Design. He'll be working live, but he doesn't mind if people come and take a look at what he's doing. He'll be painting at the hotel at Art Ovation. He's an artist in residence, and he's here with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
And thank you for having me.
We're delighted to have you here. We love our student creatives who have graduated and gone on to great things. Understand that you're doing a lot of things. You're writing,
yes.
You are doing music, you're doing poetry, and you're teaching.
Yes.
How do you bring all of that together into what seems to me to certainly have been is now your personal brand that you're developing?
So I do have to say that everything I do, I make sure that it's something that I can leave a legacy and something that'll tell my story. So I want to make sure I have all these different avenues so that if one fails, I have something that can back it up.
I doubt that you're going to fail. I know you're in the classroom.
Yes.
Why the classroom in Florida at this point in time? You know, most people, they're not trying to get into the classroom, they're trying to get out of the classroom. You're in a unique position, really unique in the sense that the latest data, which really goes back to only 2021, says like only 1.5% of all the teachers in the country are Black males. It was 6% before COVID, but COVID had it drop. 1.5%. You must be kind of lonely out there.
Yes. Yes.
Why is it still the thing that you want to do and love doing?
So while I was a student at Ringling College, I was a volunteer teaching artist, and I had the opportunity to volunteer at many different schools. I came in their after-school programs, and I would just teach art. And what I noticed was that they placed me in the schools where there was a lot of the at-risk students and a lot of the minority students. And I started to form a relationship with a lot of them, and I had that connection with them. And I felt like I needed that for myself. So I went out and I said, I'm gonna become an art teacher in the field. And that's what I'm doing now.
How does the work you do in art, how do the tools that you use as an artist, as a creative, connect to the work that you do in the classroom? I mean, even though you're teaching art, teaching is a thing. Mm-hmm. It's not like everybody can teach just because they know how to do something.
Right. So as an artist, I work with a lot of different mediums. I don't stick to one. I kind of go around. I do paint, I do drawings, I do digital artwork, and that's kind of like with my students. There's a lot of different students coming in the classroom. So you have to be able to manage all those different things the same way that I can manage all the different materials I work with.
Well, when you talk about all those different things, I would be remiss if I did not take the opportunity to air for our audience one of the pieces that you have done that's a music piece.
Yes.
That you wrote yourself, sang yourself, this whole thing. I am just completely amazed at this multi-talented being that you are. Let's play that and we'll come back and talk about it a little bit.
Keep going.
closer to the promised land because we kept going. Keep going. Don't make a sound. Keep going. Keep going. You better just keep going. I said keep going.
Wow. Jahkori, what was the inspiration to title that Keep Going?
So, Harriet Tubman was one of my idols growing up. I always looked up to her and her legacy and the way she was able to keep going no matter what happened. They had a bounty on her, and even though people told her that she wouldn't be able to do it, she still did it, and she kept going no matter what. She kept going back. She went back for her people, and she kept going back. She never lost a passenger.
Never lost a passenger. I have to jump in on that because that's my girl right there.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. It was about community. Mm-hmm. Definitely it was about community and about taking care of everybody. So who helped with this?
So I had actually recently connected with a nonprofit organization known as Juneteenth Music Entertainment, and they're actually local. I met up with this organization and I noticed that it's a community involvement, and they were really interested in working with young upcoming artists like myself. And they had asked me if I were interested in coming in and being part of their team. And I said yes. And this is the result of being part of that team with Juneteenth Music Entertainment. I was able to record and release my very first single, and all those visuals that you've seen on the screen, those were all part of the telling the story and the narrative. But the shots where I was in the studio, that was recorded by a music producer, and her name is Joyce Ward. She's the CEO and founder of Juneteenth Music Entertainment. Very, very happy to have met her and that she was able to open that door to the music industry for me.
Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you, Joyce. And that is definitely something that when I see Keep Going, the way I wrote these lyrics, I felt like I had to keep going. When it first started out, I started with like 2 lines and then it kept, repeating. And I was like, oh, I gotta put some more of her story into it. So I put her story in there, and I put the story of the legacy of the ancestors and everything in that song. And it's really powerful in the way that it shares that with the audience.
And the artwork is your own. I noticed that you gave Harriet Tubman an image much younger than we normally see her, and she looked much more modern. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yes.
And as we talk about Harriet Tubman and some of the other greats that I know you follow, you're producing calendars as well. You really are an entrepreneur. You're putting all of that together. You're an entrepreneur because you're not going to be a starving artist, right? Your talent is worth something. Tell us about these calendars.
I will. So it all starts with this one right here. And this is the very first edition of the Black History Calendar. I was a senior at the Ringling College of Art and Design in the Department of Illustration. And I was one of the only Black students in my class. So for my thesis, I wanted to be different. I wanted to stand out. Everyone else was doing a children's book, but I felt in my heart that I had to do something more because I just do too many things. So I brought it up to my teacher and I asked, would it be possible if I did a mix of different mediums? And he really enjoyed that idea. He said that it would show a lot of the diversity in my portfolio, and I'd be able to explore different mediums I haven't explored before.
Great.
And if you take a look here, the graphic design elements on this, I'm also a graphic designer, and I didn't really know if I could put that in there because my major was illustration, but he allowed me to do that. I'm a poet. He said that I can do whatever I'd like to do with the poems. So I decided, so in the months of the calendar where you usually have those blank spaces, where the months continue on, I decided to fill that in with my poetry.
Okay, we only have a few seconds left, so I don't want to leave the audience without talking really quickly about, you're going to be at Art Ovation today and tomorrow, and people can come take a look at you. So you'll actually be working and they can see what you're doing, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to be looking for you, and I'm going to run over to Art Ovation to see how you're painting up and doing all of this magic stuff here. So thank you so much. We are so proud of having you here in this community.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you for joining us today and every Saturday for Empowering Voices.